It's a cold and windy day for Big East lacrosse here at Villanova Stadium. Some snow on the ground. Time to get your hot chocolate, everyone. It's a Big East matchup today on the Big East Digital Network. The 7-1 Marquette Golden Eagles and the 5-3 Villanova Wildcats. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into Villanova Stadium. Alongside Rich Donovan, I'm Nick Mantegna. So glad to have you with us. And Rich, it's going to be a great Big East matchup today. Marquette was undefeated, started 7-0, and they're led by a great attackman in Connor Gately.
Connor Gately's had an outstanding season. Marquette's all-time leading scorer with 90 points, 15 goals, 8 assists this season for 23 points on the Tewaaraton Award watch list, and outstanding talent.
And for Villanova, they have a great all-purpose attackman midi in Jack Curran, named to the All-Big East preseason team. He can score, he can dodge, he can pass. A great all-around player for head coach Mike Corrado.
He triggers the offense, and they need to restart the offense today after struggling the last 2 weeks. Jack Curran, outstanding, shooting and distributing the ball. He's a tough matchup for Marquette today.
It's the third all-time meeting between these two schools, Villanova and Marquette, at the face-off, coming up next on the Big East Digital Network.
Villanova with 76 goals and about 9.5 per game. We'll see how they do against Jimmy Danaher, the sophomore goalie on Marquette. But now we'll see the Golden Eagle offense. That's Ryan McNamara, the sophomore midi from Eagan, Minnesota, who has 12 goals. Obviously, Connor Gately, 15 goals. He's terrific. No Jordan Greenfield here today. He was ejected against Georgetown, so he's missing today's game. How big of a loss is that today, Rich?
It's a big loss in two ways. They're going to miss him on the field, and also, too, we always talk about playing with poise. And if you're ejected from a game, you're out of the next game, and that's a very costly penalty to take on the two unsportsmanlike conducts late in the game against Georgetown.
As Craig Burge, the excellent freshman, had the game winner late for Georgetown. And Marquette, they've been the comeback kids. They've been great in one-goal games. Just a one-goal loss at Georgetown. Remember, they made the Big East tournament here at Villanova last year. All 4 of their Big East wins were by 1 goal. As they tried to catch and shoot, but an empty stick, it gets knocked to the midfield, where Villanova will pick it up. And Jack Curran did have it, but quickly taken away. And there's your guy once again in Mojica, who makes the play.
Another example of the athleticism of Marquette's defense. And there are a lot of 50-50 balls that roll to the midfield line, Nick, and every one is a potential offensive opportunity. So Marquette gets the equivalent of a second shot in basketball.
And the Villanova defense, led by John Medersky, 24 in white. He'll be matched up with Gately quite a bit today. Remington Pope is usually a short stick. They moved him to close defense for today, along with Danny Sweeney. It's a young Villanova defense, but improving week by week. And they do get a big player back today in Jordan Cunningham, the excellent long stick midi, who has missed the last 2 games. That's McNamara on a dodge turnaround shot and a save by Villanova's goalie, Greg Stamatov. Rich, of course, you know, Villanova splits their goalies. In the first half, it's Greg Stamatov, the junior, and then Dan Willis in the second half.
I was at the Villanova-Fairfield game last week. Both goalies played very well, and Fairfield had long possessions and quality shots. And that time, Stamatov, excellent positioning. The shot actually hit the handle of his stick, but forced the shooters to shoot to open net, a good opening stop.
A high arc goalie who will come out and press a little bit. 39 saves and 53% between the pipes this year for Stamatov, the Foxborough, Massachusetts native, playing in his 16th career game as a Wildcat. As Villanova able to knock it down there with John Medersky, number 24 in white. And it is a 50-50 scrum here that's eventually picked up by Connor Gately, but we'll get a push, and it looks like it's going to Villanova.
Loose ball push, Villanova looks to clear. So important to be able to go from defense to offense. And last week, Villanova did a great job riding Fairfield in the first quarter to create additional possessions. So look for the high energy. Both teams well coached. This promises to be an excellent matchup this afternoon.
86% clearing for Villanova this year. Here's the senior Eric Gartner, a great midfielder who can shake and bake and leave people in the dust a little bit because he's so athletic. 13 goals for the Malvern, Pennsylvania native.
You're correct, Nick. He does a nice job, split dodge, change of direction, distributing the ball.
Maybe some lineup changes and some different midfield looks for Villanova today, as Charlie Horning, one of their excellent freshmen, is out there, number 21 in white. Marquette will play man-to-man quite a bit under Coach Joe Amplo. Rich, he brings that Hofstra style to the Midwest.
he had an outstanding career as a player, assistant coach in 2006 when they had a 16-2 season, and Marquette certainly made a wise choice when selecting Joe to start their program in their inaugural seasons.
Quick dodge to the goal, and it might have hit a pipe. And once again, we're seeing Mojica clean it up there in front of Jimmy Danaher. The goalie from Blauvelt, New York, comes in with 73 saves at 53% on the year, as Danaher will get it on the clear, and Marquette will move it up as they average over 11 goals per game. It's been their defense that's carried them, but they've had 7 games with double-digit goals this year in their 7 wins.
They have been the cardiac kids in the fourth quarter, and Georgetown gave them a dose of their own medicine with the 1-goal win last week. A nice move by Curran. He got above the goal line extended, was able to inside roll, but Danaher able to come out, cut the angle, and make the stop.
It's been a great job for Coach Amplo at Marquette. A 4-1 record in 1-goal games. 8-2 record in 1-goal games the last 2 years as Villanova comes after the ball, and Remington Pope able to take it away as the Wildcats average about 6 caused turnovers per game. It's been kind of a staple over the years of taking it away from other teams.
And Villanova defensively with good range and athleticism in their half of the field. And we talk about Marquette. The Golden Eagles are truly road warriors. They have yet to play a home game this season. They travel to Bellarmine this week for a midweek game and then finally get their opener against St. John's. So when you look at that 7-1 record between away games and neutral site games, they've done an outstanding job.
A 10-game road trip to start the year for Marquette that will cover 12,000 miles as a shot is blocked off the delivery from Sean Cerrone, the freshman midi, and the backup goes to Marquette off the deflection.
And I was joking with Joe Amplo before the game about how was the trip. He said, we're used to it. We're flight and hotel guys. I was teasing him about you don't want to be the last guy in the buffet line at breakfast. But and they're in the process of building an outstanding indoor facility for men and women's lacrosse, a sports science research center. Marquette is making the commitment to this program.
Absolutely. They're doing a great job there, adding men's and women's lacrosse to give them some spring sports, and obviously headed in the right direction. As Ryan McNamara looks to try and dodge there against J.P. Campbell, one of Villanova's shorties on defense, as Remington Pope will be matched up here with Joe Dunn. Number 43 in yellow is replacing Jordan Greenfield today, the Fairfield transfer.
And we noted before the game regarding the weather, Marquette, the indoor facility, will help tremendously in recruiting after the last 2 winters that we've had, and with lacrosse starting in mid-January for practice and February for games, it's really going to help the program.
Cold and windy today. It's in the 40s, and a chance of flurries as well as Villanova tried to take it. Little invert there for Max, and a shot and a score for Connor Gately. So athletic there, is able to dodge in front to beat Stamitov, and Marquette strikes first.
Madursky had his stick in the passing lane, Nick, and tried to go for the cherry pick. He tried to intercept it, and he does not come up with the interception and then gets beat. Gately drives from X. Madursky out of position, and you want to try to be...
As Paul Modesto able to win his 6th face-off of the afternoon.
Very unselfish. He's not trying to win it and go to the goal. He realizes he faces the trail check, so he just throws the ball behind him to gain the possession. That's good team play.
13 shots for Villanova today, and 9 for Marquette. A little slip through for Cerrone. A nice pass, catch, shoot, and score for Johnny Galloway. That's how you execute right on the crease.
Play with your head up. And this is an excellent example. Cerrone out on the wing, pulls back out off the roll, and the nice touch pass, catch, cradle, shoot. No chance for Danner. And coaching point, you have to check sticks while the ball's in flight. You can't try to rely on after the player catches it.
Sean Cerrone gets the assist, his 16th, which is second in the Big East, and Johnny Galloway has his 2nd hat trick of the season as he had 3 goals at Drexel, and his celebration music is Christina Aguilera. I guess we'll move on to the next one, right?
Right. We talked about how maybe country music in the pregame could be a little bit better than what we listened to today, but we're entertaining the crowd, and listen, we appreciate the support today. There's fans out here. There is a little glimpse of sunlight, Nick. But it doesn't feel like March 28th. This is a spring sport.
It's apparently the first sunshine at a Villanova lacrosse game this entire season. And when you play 2 games in the snow, now you can understand why. Underrated shooter, such a good player overall, Kyle Whitlow. Able to beat Willis.
Tough first shot for Willis to see. You always like to see the goalie get the first save to get himself going. Face-off win for Marquette.
But Kennedy wins it this time, bringing it downfield right on the doorstep. What a save this time by Willis, as the Villanova goalies have been making the difficult stop in this game.
This is a 4-on-3 break, but instead of making the entry pass to the point, they throw the inside lane, and Willis makes a great save. 1-on-1 on the doorstep, and it keeps the deficit at 1.
So there's the difference. No Jordan Greenfield. There's his replacement for today in Joe Dunn, the local product from Westchester, Pennsylvania, as the Wildcats heave it all the way downfield, but over the head of Jack Curran, and they turn it over.
Against the 10-man full-field ride, it's the right look. He just sailed it too deep. But you post both attackmen in the deep corner, and the riding team with 6 players to ride against 7 clearers, and Willis, I'm sure that part of the scouting and preparation film work, they looked at that and said, let's try to throw it down the field and perhaps create a transition opportunity.
We're starting to see a few more unsettled opportunities in this game. McNamara, another save by Willis, which could get him going. Do you think we could see a little bit more up and down and some wheeling and dealing?
The first half was very patterned offense, Nick. I agree with you. I think both teams are athletic enough to get up and down the field. And remember, goalie saves and turnovers are what create fast break situations. You can push the field in full field.
Danny Sweeney with defense there.
Sweeney very solid right there. Excellent positioning.
Real athletic, good footwork. Marquette continues to pass it quite well with Joe Dunn, who's able to get a step, and Dan Willis able to bring it in.
And Marquette had their hands up. They thought it crossed the plane. Villanova caught a little bit there defensively on matchups, and Marquette's had an opportunity to push this lead.
Dan Willis, after giving up the first goal, he has 4 saves already. And give credit to Marquette. They're getting some shots off. And up by a goal against Villanova.
Shown good quickness and good hand exchange with his stick in the cage.
This is Eric Gardner, who has been quite the impact for Villanova this year with a couple of hat tricks.
Marquette caught with some of their offensive middies on the field. They're trying to shut off, and now we see the substitution pattern.
And this time we'll see Curtis Slansky, very good athletic sophomore midfielder for Villanova, as he tries to go low on Danaher but misses completely.
Tough angle, but as long as you can back up and retain possession. And this is the key matchup for Villanova and for Marquette on this side of the field.
And it is B.J. Grill against Jack Curran. 2 All-Big East Conference selections from a season ago. And what a fun matchup to watch because of the great speed of both guys. They get it out on the wing to Charlie Horning, who has 1 goal today. He gets the short stick matchup with Jacob Richard, one of the best D-middies in the country. And Gartner. Shot goes just wide by Naslonsky. Villanova has the backup. Seibel is there. Save Danaher. Rebound comes to Horning. He lets it fly and too far over the bar. But excellent ball work and quick decision making by Villanova.
Good offense by the Wildcats. And Danaher with some quick action. But Curran able to move it and off the shot that went wide. Excellent job. Scoop, cradle, make the next pass.
2 excellent creasemen for Villanova in Seibel and Galloway. 2 lefty finishers. And they're getting some room against Marquette's man-to-man today. And definitely each team getting some good shot looks.
The tempo has picked up early here in the third quarter.
And Marquette will have the clear. They are 8 for 9 clearing on the day. And the Wildcats are 7 of 8. 2 very good clearing teams, considering both teams have been practicing in the cold and snow all winter.
Excellent triple team by Villanova. This is what the pressure ride does. It gets the ball to the ground.
Remington Pope and Madursky, who has a nice hit there, and they will get it once again as excellent defensive work led by number 24 in white, John Madursky, who has just been good. You mentioned earlier, Big East Weekly honor roll for Madursky, 14 ground balls over his last 3 games. Now Charlie Horning, the rookie, matched up with Tyler Gilligan, the Ontario native, and a very good group of pole players for Coach Amplo with Gilligan and Liam Burns.
And when Curran goes right-handed, Grill has the advantage as a left-handed defenseman. He can slap check and get the good V or forearm hold on the goal line extended.
No shot clocks called on Villanova today. They've been called only against Marquette as Galloway has 4 goals on the afternoon.
Villanova very effective with the side screen where they pop. You're actually moving away from the cage. The little screen, he's going away, but excellent placement on the shot, and Villanova ties the game.